want freedom! We want freedom!
Can I say how absolutely disgusted I was? It broke my heart. Millions and millions of people across our state are doing the right thing. And it just broke my heart that people had such a disregard for their fellow citizens.
Massive anti-lockdown protests stoking fears of another surge in infections in an Australian state already struggling to contain an outbreak of the Delta variant. Thousands of people, mostly maskless, gathered in Sydney this weekend in defiance of coronavirus measures that have put much of the country back in lockdown. The Sydney region, living under tight restrictions for 4 weeks now, faces the threat of an even longer lockdown after the protests, says the country's Prime Minister.
Millions of Sydney-siders who stayed home. They're the ones who are bringing an end to the lockdown sooner, not those who are at putting themselves at risk. To engage in that was reckless and it was selfish.
At least 57 people were arrested after crowds broke through barriers and clashed with police. The scenes in Sydney also played out across Europe, where many see restrictions to boost vaccine uptake as an attack on personal freedoms. Demonstrators on the streets of London shouted as the British government contemplates requiring vaccine passports to enter nightclubs and similar venues by the end of September. Greek police deployed tear gas and water cannon against protesters in Athens, marching against mandatory vaccinations for some workers. And in several French cities, hundreds of thousands protested the government's health pass, showing you've been vaccinated or recently tested negative for certain social activities like indoor dining or even going for a coffee with friends. Everyone who took part in the protests in Sydney is now being urged to get tested and quarantine.
It would only take 3 or 4 people that were there yesterday for yesterday's event to be known as a super spreader. So you did the wrong thing yesterday.
The state of New South Wales reported 141 new cases on Sunday. That's the second most this year, and 2 more deaths, including a woman in her 30s with no pre-existing conditions. Now, the government has been blamed for a slow vaccine rollout. According to Johns Hopkins University, fewer than 13% is fully vaccinated. Caryn Ceolin, CityNews.